You wake up. You grab your phone. You start your day. But something is wrong. Your notifications don't stop. Hundreds of missed calls, dozens of messages, mentions, tweets, and news alerts. Your hands are shaking. The messages don't make sense. Then you read them. Your name is everywhere. You're trending worldwide.
We do have some names for you, some names to match those faces that the FBI gave us a little earlier. The first one, his name is Sunil Tripathi.
Two young men, one of whom's been missing for the past month. He is Sunil Tripathi.
Sunil Tripathi. And it all started with a single post on Reddit. I think he looks like Sunil Tripathi, that brown student who's missing. Within hours, the internet decided your fate. Let's burn your family alive, you terrorist scumbag. This is the story of Sunil Tripathi and how the Reddit community ruined his life. Before the world pronounced his name with hatred, there was a time when Sunil Tripathi was just Sunil. A son, a brother, a friend, a dreamer. Sunil was born on October 9th, 1990 in Pennsylvania. The Tripathi family, Indian immigrant parents, broke their backs to give him a better life. His dad is a financial consultant, his mom, the heart and soul of the house. Sunil was the youngest of 3 siblings. His older sister Sangeeta and his brother Ravi Jr. were not just his siblings. They were his protectors, his biggest supporters, his best friends. He was the quiet one, always lost among books. He wasn't just smart. He was deeply empathetic, always concerned about others. And so, he ended up at Brown University, an Ivy League, a place where only the best make it, and also the most broken inside.
I was very lucky that when we went to college, we overlapped for a year. And it was amazing to see him in his first year in college. He took in more interesting classes than I was taking. He did better in school than I was doing. I'm confident that by the time I left Brown, more people knew his name on campus than they did mine.
Sunil studied philosophy. He would spend hours reading about morals, human existence, and how insignificant we are in the face of the universe. His professors described him as quiet and deeply curious.
He was never a student that you had to ask to practice. He would just come in, always prepared or more. I'd give 1 or 2 pieces to work on. He'd come in with 3 or 4.
But while the world saw a bright young man, Sunil was fighting a battle no one else could see. Sunil was battling depression.
I was trying to suggest to him that lack of appetite, that flatness that comes for work, might not be the work. It might be depression.
At first, it was easy not to notice. A skipped meal, a sleepless night, a missed call. Then it became something more.
Hey, Dad, it's Sunil. Just call back on your place. Okay, bye.
In March 2013, Sunil asked for medical leave. He said he needed time. Bullshit. What he needed was to get out of his own head. He went to live alone. Providence, Rhode Island. Small apartment, few things, 0 company. And there, the depression sat with him, day after day, night after night. The worst part, no one noticed what was happening to Sunil. And then, one night, he was just gone. No phone, no wallet, no goodbye. And what we would see next, no one was prepared to face it. March 16th, 2013. A cold night in Providence, Rhode Island. 1 a.m. Sunil gets up, puts on his gray hoodie, and leaves. Just a gray hoodie to protect him from the biting cold. He walks past the Rhode Island School of Design, down Angel Street, and disappears. He's not carrying a wallet, no cell phone, not even a goodbye note. He walked down Angel Street, passed in front of the School of Design, and then vanished. He would never be seen again. Or so we thought. In the morning, his roommate alerted the family. Panic set in. His family knew something was wrong. Calls weren't being answered. Messages weren't being read. At first, they hoped he was just out for a walk, that he needed space. But hours turned into a day into two. Sunil had disappeared. His family went into overdrive. They called hospitals. They went to police stations. They walked the streets of Providence calling his name. But Sunil was out of reach.
We have an update now on the search for a missing Brown University student. Sunil Tripathi has been missing for nearly a month, but his family is optimistic he will return safely to them. His brother Ravi joining us.
They papered the city with flyers. Missing Sunil Tripathi, age 21, 180 centimeters. The Tripathis started a local campaign. They created a Facebook page. Help us find Sunil Tripathi.
We're trying to spread the word. The FBI agent said the more eyes, the better.
A mother clings to hope, never letting go.
We have to be hopeful.
Volunteers, unknown people, all wanting to find Sunil. The clues were piling up. Someone said they saw him at a bus station. Another saw him walking near the river. A security camera caught someone near the Providence River on March 16th, but the image was too blurry to confirm. A homeless man claimed to have seen him at a bus station, but that led to nothing. Every day it felt like drowning, Sangeeta told the New York Times. We just wanted to hug him again, tell him everything was okay. But there was no sign of Sunil. Everything was ending in dead ends.
It was a hard weekend. This was the 1-month marker to Sunny's disappearance, and nobody cared anymore. Nobody cared in the media. Nobody cared in some of the law enforcement partners. There were no new leads. We had dug everything dry, and there was nothing.
Days became weeks. March became April. And just when it seemed everyone had forgotten, someone on Reddit typed your name, and that was the beginning of the real hell. April 15th, 2013. Boston was living its biggest day, the 117th marathon. More than 23,000 runners, 500,000 people cheering, laughing, dreaming of crossing the finish line. The runners were approaching the finish line, the crowd cheering them on, but suddenly, the first bomb explodes. 12 seconds later, the second bomb rips the soul out of the city.
Whoa! Something just blew up! Run! Go!
Glass flying, blood on the pavement, parents searching for their children in the smoke. 3 dead. Martin Richard was only years old. Crystal Campbell, 29. Lindsay Liu, 23. Over 260 injured. Lives destroyed in seconds. The entire city was placed on high alert. It was the deadliest terrorist attack on U.S. soil since 9/11.
Earlier today, I was briefed by my Homeland Security team on the events in Boston. We're continuing to monitor and respond to the situation as it unfolds, and I've directed the full resources of the federal government to help state and local authorities protect our people, increase security around the United States as necessary, and investigate what happened.
The country wanted justice, but the internet, what it wanted, was a culprit. 3 days later, the FBI does what seemed logical. Publish photos of 2 suspects, white hat and black hat. No names, no context, just 2 faces walking the crowd. And there, the real hunt began. Boston was on the brink, but Reddit had already decided to be the judge. jury, and executioner. The subreddit r/find Boston bombers on Reddit exploded with amateur detectives. They compared backpacks, names, faces, videos. Any student with a black backpack was a suspect. And then, someone wrote the forbidden name. Look at that jaw, the nose. It's Sunil Tripathi, the missing student, the perfect alibi. The post went viral. Within hours, his name was on Facebook, 4chan, YouTube, news outlets. It was global news.
Reports that the men have been identified, 2 young men, one of whom's been missing for the past month. He is Sunil Tripathi, a 22-year-old.
His family's Facebook page was filled with hate. As the online storm escalated, the Tripathi family faced an unimaginable nightmare. And then, when the hate had already done its work, the truth came out.
Today we are enlisting the public's help to identify the 2 suspects. After a very detailed analysis of photo, video, and other evidence, we are releasing photos of these 2 suspects.
April 18th, 2013. The FBI held a press conference and officially revealed the identities of the Boston Marathon bombing suspects. Tamerlan Tsarnaev, 26, and Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, 19, Chechen brothers who lived in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Sunil wasn't even on the FBI's radar. Reddit went down. Post disappeared. Users vanished.
Was linked in the last week to the Boston bombings without any reason whatsoever. It had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it was incredibly painful for our family. This was coming at a time after 34 days of pain in our family and worry. And we, knew unconvincingly that this was not Sunil. And it was just very difficult to have the events of that night unfold so aggressively with language that was not based on any actual evidence at all.
But the damage, that was already done. Boston was in chaos. The entire city was in lockdown as police pursued the Tsarnaev brothers. A violent shootout in Watertown ended Tamerlan's life. Dzhokhar remained at large. On the night of April 19th, he was captured hiding in a boat in a backyard. The city breathed a sigh of relief. Justice had been done. The nightmare was over. But for the Tripathis, hell was not over. It had only become quieter. Where was Sunil? Would he still be alive? Would he come home? Until, at last, the news came. But not the news they expected, nor the one they deserved.
For a missing Brown University student comes to a tragic conclusion. Today, Providence police confirmed that the body discovered in the water off India Point this week was that of 22-year-old Sunil Tripathi, who mysteriously vanished last month.
37 days later, a body was found floating in the Providence River near India Point Park, just a few miles from where he was last seen. It was him, Sunil, confirmed by dental records, confirmed by the void he left behind. He had been there all that time, alone, silent, lifeless since the first night. Since March 16th, a month before the world began to hate him, for no reason. While the internet was looking for a terrorist, Sunil was no longer alive. All those accusations, the harassment, the death threats, they were blaming someone who had been dead for some time before the attack. They were attacking a family already in mourning. A family that was looking for a missing son and ended up receiving death threats. The insults were nonstop. And the worst part, the most disgusting part, is that no one apologized. Not Reddit, not the media, nor the thousands of users who, from the comfort of their screens, played detective with the life of an innocent man. The Tripathis tried to seek justice. They sued Reddit, they sued Twitter accounts, but accounts disappear. Users change their names, and hate always finds another victim. In 2015, Reddit posted an apology. A single line. Cold. Empty. We are ashamed. Our detectives caused irreparable harm. But to the Tripathis, that wasn't an apology. It was a mockery. a way to clean up their image, not to honor their son. And so, it was all over. No arrests, no consequences, without a single face facing the truth. But for the Tripathi family, it didn't end. The damage became part of them, permanent, irreversible. Sunil was still dead. The truth had come out, but it didn't matter. Because the world doesn't look for the truth. The world looks for who to blame, who to destroy, who to turn into a monster, even if he never was. After his death, they found Sunil's diaries, whole pages full of anguish, of darkness. In one of them he wrote, "I am a burden. The world is better off without me." And that world proved him right. Next time, it won't be Sunil. It won't be someone in the headlines. It will be a stranger, a neighbor, your brother, or you. Because as long as the internet keeps looking for culprits instead of the truth, it's not a question of if it will happen again. It's a question of when.